and welcome to Scotland. I'm on my way to the new Galloway Forest to a private test road. Its location is a closely guarded secret. Why? Well, it's the starting point for a comeback. The guy we're going to meet is a good friend of mine. We grew up together. His name is Colin Mcrae. He's a former World Rally champion, and this is what he does.
Colin's style was much more about absolute commitment, full attack, big sideways, flat out over the jumps. I think that's what people like to see.
Colin is a big name from the rally.
If I was running one of the teams again, I'd have him in my team.
He will never forget to drive. He's the man with car control, definitely.
Into dip.
Rallying is in McRae's blood.
And 6 left, narrows. And 6 right, 7.
His father Jimmy was a 5-time British rally champion in the 1980s. But Colin eclipsed his dad's success in spectacular fashion to become the youngest ever world champion in 1995. He came close to winning the crown again in 1997 and 2001, competing at the highest level for teams like Subaru, Ford and Citroën. But 2 years ago, changes in the rules governing rally forced him out of the sport. McRae hasn't driven competitively in the WRC since November 2003. That is, until now. Just weeks ago, the Skoda World Rally team announced that the Scot will be driving for them at the Rally of Great Britain, Colin's home event. For many, it's a shock return for the 37-year-old. It's also one that reunites him with his former co-driver, Nicky Grist. The two split in disagreement after crashing out of Rally New Zealand in 2002.
3, 2.
But it now seems that the chance to compete again has healed the rift with the promise of a new challenge.
So is this really a one-off drive? And can McRae reignite his career? Well, that's what I'm here to find out. We're going to follow him on his pre-event test for Skoda and then talk to him about his decision to return to rallying. But most of all, we're going to find out what makes the real McRae.
So with McRae back in at the deep end, I caught up with him to get some answers.
Colin, you have to ask yourself, do you need it? Because Skoda really are the underdogs. Why come back now and why do it with Skoda?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have asked that question. To come back now, Rally GB is the perfect one to come back on. It's a home event. I think the rally fans in the UK need something to cheer about, so hopefully I can give them that again. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for me personally to be out the car almost 2 years now. To come back and to put up a good performance is going to be tough. The Skoda, I think it's fair to say, is well, nobody really knows how quick it is. There's big question marks on it. So from that side, they're obviously going to get some independent feedback on that. But it's going to be a difficult one for sure. It's 2 years is a long, long time.
But it's a great opportunity for you to kind of rub your hands together. I mean, you won Rally Great Britain 3 times. It must be the rally you know the best.
Not really. I wouldn't say I know it any better than any of the rest of them. I've done them all probably equal amounts through the years. So, I seem to always have a wee bit of an extra buzz in your home event because it is the home event. You have a bit of extra confidence, whatever it is. There's something there that just gives you an edge. I hope it's going to give me a big edge this year.
I was talking to Nicky and he was really fizzed up about it and was as keen as you were to get back into the car and be rallying with you again. And it's almost like it's unfinished business.
Yeah, I think for me there is a certain element of unfinished business. It wasn't my decision in the end to come out of the championship. It was circumstances, and then there wasn't the right opportunity to get back in. I enjoyed the time off, but then after a bit you do miss it. I mean, it's a hell of a adrenaline rush, this sport, and if you've been used to it all these years, it's very, very difficult just to sit back and watch everyone else having the fun.
Because you did a bit of Dakar, you did Le Mans as well. I mean, 2 big blue ribbon events, but the kind of impression I get is, nah, they didn't quite match.
I enjoyed them for sure. I mean, it was great challenges. Dakar's a brilliant event. I would love to go back and do it again. Love to try and win the event. I think it would be something pretty impressive in your CV if you won an event like that. Le Mans again was a completely different challenge. And to do it with ProDrive and Ferrari was quite special as well. So I've enjoyed these things definitely, but I still believe I've got I can offer the World Championship a lot, and I think if you look at it realistically, next year's going to be a bit of a lean year in terms of competition, possibly, depending on who goes to whatever cars are available. I mean, if there was something available next year, a competitive package, then the championship's there.
How much do you think the sport has moved on since you were in Rally Great Britain in 2003 with the Citroen?
I mean, I think the sort of level of professionalism throughout the whole event has increased a lot, all the events. There's obviously a lot more pressure and standards required for everyone. The format's completely different. But it's still there. The big rallying is rallying on the stage from start to finish. How quick can you go on the stage? It's a very spectacular sport.
After 25 wins in a World Championship, most people would just disappear off and go and enjoy their retirement and have a good time. But not you. There's something about you that can't give it up. You just won't go away.
Well, it's in your blood, isn't it? It's what you do.
Really?
It's difficult to find something else to substitute that. The danger factor of it is obviously something that you think about a lot more. There's the law of averages. It's going to catch you out sometime. And I think definitely after a year and a half, 2 years out, you come back a different person for sure, because you think about the whole career, the wins, the crashes, the mistakes you made, the way you approached it. You go through it all in your head, and I believe at the end of that you can come back as a better person, as a better overall driver.
So you think through it all, you have 1 or 2 regrets and you think to yourself, I could have done that better, should have done that differently, and that's why I've got to come back.
Yeah, and you for sure you do it all the time, but it's not until you actually stop doing it and you've got time to really analyse it, you look at it in a different way.
Yeah. What did the family say? I mean, what did Alison say when you announced you were going to get one more go?
Again, she supports it for sure, because she can see that I want to do it. She's getting pretty fed up with me being at home as well. So
I was going to say, what do you be like kicking around the house?
She's quite happy I've got a job, even though it's only for a week.
I bet everybody in the time you've been away has been saying, come on, Cole, when are you coming back?
Everybody.
I
get asked every week.
Exactly. It's just not the same, I bet they say. We need to have you back in there competing.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Hopefully I'll make a difference.
This programme's mainly about Colin Mcrae, but it's also about the challenges that he's going to face on next weekend's Rally of Great Britain.
Colin Mcrae competed in his first Rally GP at age just 19 and has always attacked the event in his usual style. Complete commitment in front of the home fans means that Colin's results here are a bit of a mixed bag, but he hit a sweet spot here in the mid-90s, winning 3 on the trot. Of all the highs, Colin's greatest win here must be 1995, which handed him the championship crown over teammate Carlos Sainz. Colin's successes on the event continued. He won it again in 1997 with Nicky Grist. But after that, his luck on Rally GB ran out. Engine failure brought an end to his challenge in 98, before a move to Ford and two non-finishes in 99 and 2000 brought Colin to the lowest point of his career.
4-8 minus cut, hole outside. And 6 left, opens long.
Coming into the event in 2001, Colin was in a four-way fight for the championship. But with Tommy Mäkinen going out on the second stage and Carlos Sainz losing time to a puncture, it was set up to be a battle of the Brits. But things weren't to go Colin's way.
So it was 6 gear and really quick coming into this series of corners. And it was a 5 right plus and 6 left minus over crest, cut. So he heard the word cut and he thought it was on the 5 right plus.
30, 5 left plus, cut.
Unfortunately, there was a dip inside the road, there was a bank on the other side, and the front wheel just slammed on the inside of this thing and then just sent us up into the air. I mean, the car was wrecked. But it was a sad end to quite a tough season, that was.
It isn't just hidden ditches that can catch out the drivers on Wales Rally Great Britain. The stages are lined with unforgiving trees and the surface varies between super slippery mud, gravel and tarmac. The weather is unpredictable, and with rain and fog both likely, drivers need luck as well as skill on this prestigious event. So far, this season has all been about one man. Sébastien Loeb and Citroën have dominated, and the Frenchman has racked up 8 wins already. But McRae won't be bothered with the state of the championship. He's not part of that battle, but he will push for a points finish.
Well, we've arrived at the test site. Colin and the Skoda team have been here for a day and a half now already, so they've run through lots of suspension settings, diff settings and some tyres. Now, I know that Colin chose this road particularly himself because it's fast and demanding. Let's go and catch up with him and see how it's going.
6 right minus and left tightens to 5 minus. Into long 6 left over crest and tightens. 5 right line and long 6 left. And very long 6 right.
Well, Nicky, back on the notes, I mean, it's not easy, is it? I mean, there's a lot to it, and getting back, there must be some rustiness somewhere, no?
Yes, a little bit, but to be honest, it's not to a point of it being a complete disaster. At the end of the day, it's just maybe some of the notes are coming a little bit too early because there's no way you want them to come late. But you're sat so low in the car, I can see probably out of the whole stage about 200 metres. So at the end of the day, it's really seat of the pants stuff. I'm just looking at the pace notebook, feeling where the car is leaning, and then I know exactly where I am on the notes. So getting back into it again.
And how was he when he first jumped in the car? Because it's been a wee while for Colin as well. It's been 2 years since he's driven a factory WRC car. Was there a bit of rustiness there? He speeded up gradually?
Well, to be honest, from the first time we set that quick time, he was back straight away, from what I remember anyway. And you know what it's like until you really get in the heat of competition, until we actually start mixing it with the likes of Sébastien Loeb, Marcus Gronholm, Petter Solberg. You know, you don't really know where you are. But we've also got to be quite realistic. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys have been rallying the whole year. They've done 11 rallies, probably masses of testing. They're right on the top of their game, and Colin's coming in a little bit fresh. But while these guys may be a little bit faster. I'm sure that probably on the rally nobody's going to look as good as Colin because he's still got it, and you know, it feels great from the passenger seat.
What changes have you made to the car?
We've run through everything with, you know, from tyre, suspension, the differential stuff. So we've been going through all the different menus and options and coming up with a bit of my own stuff and trying it against their sort of best setups. So learning a lot about the car and slowly today getting towards a, you know, what I would call a base setup.
And the strong points of the Skoda?
The strong points, I mean, the main thing is the car feels good. It's quite consistent. It doesn't, you know, the sort of worst thing if you get into a new car and there's some really sort of bad trait that you can't dial out, then you've got a problem. But the car feels really quite nice, consistent. You know, to gauge the speed of it's very difficult, but it certainly feels quite quick when we go down there.
Okay, I'm looking forward to sitting next to you later on, but you've had Nicky back in the car as well. That's been good. We've spoken to Nicky. He said it's coming together quickly.
Yeah, no, it's again, okay, even though it's been nearly 2 years, I think when you've got that much experience banked, when you get back in, it all comes back quite quickly. But the big test is the first stage of Rally GB. Yeah,
that's when you've got the rest of the competitors in the WRC. They've all been driving. They've done 11 rallies so far this year, so it's going to be tough, isn't it?
For sure. I mean, you know, even if you took, you know, Sebastian Loeb, who's been driving all year, and put him in a new car for one rally, it's going to be quite tough for him. So, you know, we've got a bit of a hill to climb, but I'm enjoying it at the moment. It feels good, and you know, the confidence is there.
3 days of testing gives you good mileage in the car, doesn't it?
Okay, I mean, you could do more and more testing in different roads. For sure, it would help, but you get to a point where you've got to get in the car on the rally and then see how it goes.
Now, somebody was saying recently you're suffering a bit from TMB.
TMB? What the hell's TMB?
Too many birthdays.
But disaster strikes. The test car develops a problem, and Robbie's drive could be in doubt.
What's up?
I don't know, it's the first time the car stopped in about 300 kilometres. It must be you.
I brought you good luck already.
Bringing the luck along.
It's the kiss of the commentator, isn't it?
Exactly. No, it just stopped. All of a sudden, no battery power. So
electrical then?
Electrical. And a bump. Something's came off a connection. It's really heavy braking on a bump and the engine stopped.
So while they fix the car, let's catch up with another of Colin's projects, protégé Chris Meek. Colin has been giving the Junior World Rally Championship driver the benefit of his experience since 2001. But what does Chris think about Colin competing against him in Wales?
It's a works drive in a World Rally Championship, so you have to take it very seriously. And you know, I take my situation seriously. We're private entry in a Subaru, and I want to do the best job I can. And for sure, he's driving for Skoda, and it's a professional team, and they want to do well. So you have to give it everything. It's my first time in a World Rally car competitively, and we'll only have 1 day's testing, so it's completely unrealistic to expect me to compete with Colin. You know, we'll both be looking for a good solid finish in GB.
With the car fixed, it's not long before it's back up to speed. And if I'm not mistaken, Robbie is looking just a little bit nervous.
This might be me on now, I don't know, I might wait and see what it is. Well, I'm all suited up, kitted up, helmet on, belts are on, I'm strapped in this Skoda WRC car. Colin's going to give me a run down this stage. It's quite long, it's difficult, and I know he's going to try and frighten me. I'm looking forward to it, really.
So am I.
It's a 5-speed box now, isn't it, in the Skoda?
5-speed box, it's working really well.
It just feels like Star Wars, the scenery's going past so quickly. Fifth gear all along this section, probably up to about 120. Hopefully going to brake. He does. Nice. It's quite rough here, but the car's coping with it, no problem. I'm going to tighten my belts. Not a little bit of air over there. Fifth gear again. That's quick. Oh, listen to the engine note.
You're not worried about it, are you?
Oh. just you remember the corners. I'll do the worrying for both of us. Here's this big jump coming. Nice, landed well. Almost got a second jump there. Then into the hairpin. Then she goes, tugging the handbrake. No problem. Second gear, short shifting out the hairpin. Keep the traction.
Coming up with some nice flowing crests down here now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's one. This is the corner. Oh, speed round there's unbelievable. Yeah, very good. I enjoyed that. Now I know why I'm commentating.
You've either got to enjoy it or you would cry, I think.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the speed through there. It really is.
Well, I'm glad I'm in this seat, Robbie. I would not like to be sat in your seat.
No, definitely not. No thanks. It always seems about 10 times faster when you're not in control.
Especially on a road like that.
Well, that was absolutely awesome. Colin Mcrae has lost none of his touch. This Skoda's going well, but both him and Nicky have got a huge challenge next weekend in Rally GB.
And this is when you'll see ITV1's coverage. It starts on Friday at midnight, and then you'll find us in our Sunday afternoon slot at 4:30. See you in Wales.